Hey everybody, happy Friday to you. I'm back with part 2 of this beautiful beaded necklace that I just made the other week, combining techniques that I've done for a long time but I just don't do often, and they're fun and they look pretty, so hey, why not, right? So last week we did this piece and I got this far. I'm still not finished with this, but I think you can see how basically I build this up and then fill it in. So I still have a little bit to do on that. I just didn't get to it this week. But then last week, after I made this and shared it with you, this piece, let's keep it in the view so you can continue to look at it. Okay, then I started all over again, and I made this piece. And I said, let's leave this one go till next time, because then I'll bead it for you and I'll show you, the little tricks of doing that, which really there aren't many, being honest with you. It's very, very random. You just kind of do it till it looks good to you. But there still are a few things about it, so I thought, well, we'll come back and talk about that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So to do this, you're going to need your wire cutters, and you're going to need your flat nose pliers, maybe. It's just good to have them there. And then you're going to need your needle nose type pliers. So mostly just hand tools there, simple hand tools, which you all have. You don't have to go worry about getting them because you have them. I know you do. And then also to do the work, you're going to want to have a bunch of little beads, from anywhere from like 3 millimeter up to maybe 8. But basically you're going to need 3-4 millimeter the most. You need little ones the most. So if you don't have larger ones, then don't worry about it. If you got the little ones, you're good. You could use seed beads too. Seed beads work just fine, especially like the E beads that are a little bit bigger. They're perfect. I don't have any here right now, but I do know they'll work. Okay, so I was going to, you also need some 28 gauge wire. I'm using champagne gold just because that's what I had, but probably be better, since I want to do this on copper, to have had copper wire. But I don't have any in stock, so I had this, so I'm using this. Okay, alrighty. Wouldn't you know, huh? So then I got to thinking about this, how to do this. And I thought, it'd probably be better just to do it on the form and not worry about all this other, because then it gets in your way. So basically, if you're making this pretty necklace, you should probably really make your centerpiece first and then go ahead and bead it and then finish your necklace. So you want to do this first and then go up and finish it, instead of just finishing all up. Now you've got this and you're trying to get around there and get in, and it's clumsy, isn't it? And it's frustrating, and pretty soon you just say, I don't even want to finish it. Well, that's no good. So anyway, what I did was I just made a new form. Same thing as I did here and I did here, okay? I used, this one's a little bit bigger around than that one because I wanted you to be able to see me getting in there and working on it. But basically, I needed 9 inches of 16 gauge wire. And any color you want to use is fine. I do have the copper, so that's what I did. 16 gauge wire. And what I did is, if you go back to the video last week, you'll see how I did it. But basically, I took that long piece, that 9-inch piece. I think maybe it was a little bit shorter in last week's video. You want 9-inch, really you do. And I just took it, and this is like the easiest wire form you can make, because basically you just take the wire up and around and you cross it. Okay? I feel like I should do it again. Maybe I'll take a piece of this and just bust it off real quick. I don't know how long this is, but I'm just going to show you the principle, okay? So I'm just going to take a random piece and hope it's long enough that you're going to see what I'm talking about. I can't just say, maybe you didn't see the first one yet. Okay, so anyway, I've got this long piece of wire, 16 gauge. All I'm going to do is just bend it. And it just gracefully puts itself, this is like the easiest wire form you could possibly make, is this. So you just, keep working it until you get it, the size and shape you want. You might have to pull this out a little bit or whatever, make it wider, however you want it. But it's so easy. You just cross the legs, basically. And then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this with a little bit of wire. And that's what I did on this one, and I'll show you, okay? So I did this one, And I figured, let me bead this first, so it'll be easier to tell you. And what I hadn't done in the other videos is I hadn't wrapped it right here at the cross. And I just decided, you know, I really should do that. You really should do that, because then it's easier to work with. If you don't do that, it might flip around. You know, it does work if you just bend it down like that, and it'll usually stay. Just bend it down a little bit. But it's just better to go ahead and take a little bit of, and I use 24 gauge wire, but really the 28 that you're using to bead it will work just fine. Just take a separate piece, maybe 4 or 5 inches, and wrap it around this way and then that way real good, and then just cut it off and trim it like you normally do when you're wrapping a head pin or something, or an eye pin. Okay, so I did that. Then I took a piece of this 28 gauge. I took probably 10, 12 inches, okay? And I wrapped it right around here. I don't know if you can see that right there. I wrapped it first. So I took it and I went around and I wrapped it on. Half of it around this way, half around that way, okay? I wrapped it on, and it was on good and strong. And then I left the other piece hanging out over here. Okay, because I might use it to do something else later. So I kind of like to do it in half, you know, like put half around here and then use it and leave it loose to start wiring, which I've done here. And then leave the other one out, okay? So now I have gone on here with I've used 4mm, just costume pearls, little inexpensive ones. And I've used 4mm on here. And it's worked out pretty good, but I've kind of come to the end of the road with this piece. I'll show you in a little bit what to do with that last little piece. But you want to leave, you know, when you're getting to the end of the road with that piece, you need to add one on. You need to leave a little tail here to work with, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this side and show you what I did over here, okay? So we probably won't get done completely with it, but you're going to know what you're doing until we're done with this video. For me to finish this whole thing is probably going to take too long, and it'll be like watching paint dry, you know? So anyway, so I've got this wrapped around here. It's on there. It's already wrapped around from over here. So I'm going to take it on the other side, and I'm going to do that again. So now you're going to get to see that process. And I've just taken it, and the shorter the piece, really, the less clumsy it is. So it might be better just to work an even shorter piece. So I've wrapped it around about 3 times, okay? Maybe I'll do 4, just because I can. And there we go. It's ready to go, okay? So I'm going to use these beads again, so I'm going to just pull a few of them off. And of course they're going to roll all over the place, but I'm going to stop them. Come back here. Okay. This is the place that's slow for me. If any of you have any tips for me about this, that would be great, because I like to bead on wire, but I don't bead on string, and I don't do a lot of that. So if you guys want to suggest something, I have a little bit of trouble holding this in my fingers and getting the bead on here. Now I know there's a way you can do that with seed beads. Go down into the little pan of them, and you can collect them all up at one time. But with these, I don't know that that will work. Probably what I could do is, you know what? I think I know. I think I remembered something. So I got one on. I'm going to try this. So now I've got a few of them here. Just go in. Let's see if this works. It seemed to me it does. I'm going to take those off. Let's just do these 2. Let's take it in there and go through the hole where the string is. See if I can do it. Might be a little clumsy. If you guys are good at this, say something. Nah. I know this works. Probably shouldn't have tried it on camera. I'm so famous for that. Trying stuff and it doesn't work. But then, hey, you know it doesn't work. Okay, so I've got them both on there now. Just slip them off. Woohoo! That's how that works. Did you know that, Javi? I bet you did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she knows that because she does a lot with beads. I used to, but I've forgotten a lot of what I knew. So I need to start doing it again. But anyway, that makes it easier, you know, to work with. So I've got 3 beads on there. Whoops. Well, I had 3 beads. Put that back on. So yeah, go up the side of the wire and get a few, the string, and get a few that might help. Okay, so now I'm just going to start bending it. And it's going to look kind of wonky at first. You're going to say, oh, it's all over the place. What are you going to do? Don't worry about it. You can fix that later, okay? You move it. That's what's so great about wire. Let's see if I can do it again. Can I duplicate that maneuver? Well, I got one. I got two. And I got three. See, I asked for your help and it turns out I knew how to do it. But you probably have a better way yet. So if you're beaders and you want to tell me about it, I'm all ears. I never profess to know everything. Oh, I lost another one. I'm the clumsy beader. But you know what? When I get this done, it's not going to look like it. It's going to be very pretty. I used to sit and do this for hours. Back in the 90s, I used to do shows in malls, you know, with my jewelry line. And I would sit there, because through the week, the malls are dead. And there would be nobody, not until like Friday night. So I had lots of time on my hand, because we always started on Wednesday. So I would just sit there the first couple of days and just bead on wire, make all kind of stuff like this. Made earrings. I think I still have a pair of those earrings. I have to hike them out. That I made so long ago. Yeah, this is so much better than trying to put the simple, huh? Well, of course I could have told you that. Okay. So now this wire is getting a little bit short. So let me get my hands off the bead so you can see what's happening. They're just kind of going on. It reminds me of like bubbles or something, you know? Like bubbles. Remind me of bubbles. That's me. That's what it makes me think of. Anyway, now I got to put another piece on, so I'm going to show you how that's done, okay? Don't worry if you're seeing a little bit of wire. Don't worry if you kind of got spaces and holes. That's what you take care of on the next round. So I'm going to take a piece off maybe 8 inches. I'm eyeballing this, but I would say that's about 8 inches, okay? And now I'm going to take and go through here. And this time I'm going to leave, let's see, I want my tail to be down here. No, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to leave a little tail here. Nothing like figuring out as you go. But that's me. I'm random, you know. I'm the random girl. But you will still see what I'm doing, and it'll be all good. Okay, so now I'm wrapping it like twice around, so I have a nice start. Now, another thing that I can do is I can take, this was my original wire, I think here, so I'm going to take, and I'm going to kind of twist it. And as if you saw the video last week, you'll remember that I told you that's kind of like the Haskell, Miriam Haskell way that they did things to finish off wire. I'm going to cut this little tail off. Be careful that you don't go through both strings of wire, because then you have to start over. Push this wire up here out of the way, just the same way as I did those. And then I'm just going to get going again. Take this through. Don't worry if that slides under there. Keep this out of your way and just keep going, okay? Till you get through. Okay, where's the end of that? Here it is. I'm going to go. I'm going to have, no, here it is. Okay. Sorry, guys. I think you see the point, though. It's just, basically, you're just going to wrap it. Like, usually 3 pearls at a time is enough, especially on these small ones. That's enough. Now, if you're using a big one, you might do 1 at a time. Okay? And here's another way as I can do is I can come through the other side of this, too. Put on the right hand if I'm right-handed. I don't think I will, though. But you can. It doesn't matter. You just do it. Because basically you're going to wrap this thing until you think it looks right. And then so you just see an example of why you don't want it to be too long. I've got a little piece there that I need to cut off. I'll do that later. In case you saw that and wonder why I didn't, it's because I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it later. Okay? I'm going to see if in my video I can get all the way around. And then I'll just tell you what to do with the rest, because the rest, after you get your first layer down, then it gets fun, because it's kind of like assemblage. You know how you do with assemblage? The first layer that you put down in your assemblage art is kind of like your base pieces, or your big piece. I'm just going to take one for now. Oh, I did it the wrong way. This one need from the other piece. Okay, go back to my thought. Is you need your base pieces first. Okay, so these are your base pieces. The next layer that you do is you're going to start building your embellishments. You're going to start building form and embellishments and all that stuff. This is on the side, okay. So it starts to get fun after the base part. And then the last one is just basically filling in and putting in the add-on pieces that make it really talk to you. Same thing when you do assemblage with glue or whatever. You put your base down first. The next layer is where you're kind of building form and starting to design and embellish. The last, I keep doing this. You know what? Forget it. I'm cutting this. I'm tired of this. Oh, careful I don't lose my wire. Oh, that would be a disaster. Okay, good. I should have done this part way because it takes so long. But I thought, well, if I do that, then you guys won't see how it works. See, like, you might say, oh, Brenda, there's a big blob. Don't worry about that. We'll get that later, okay? I'm going to go ahead and trim this. I have to be really careful because it's jagging me, okay? But I'm taking like 2 or 3 at a time and just wrapping around, okay? That's all it is. Wrapping it around a little bit at a time. Okay, here's a free end. I'm going to get 4 this time and see what happens. I think I did this one. Yeah, I did. Should have gone this way. I was afraid of this. I was not having a great day. But I really wanted to come in here and finish this necklace and show you guys, you know, how to do this part of it, because I really didn't very much last week. And so, I guess you'll have to forgive me. I'm working on doing better. There's a lot going on here lately. But there is at your place too. Hope everybody's healthy and happy, doing good, hanging in there. It's been tough on a lot of us lately. It really has. Okay. So you'll see basically, just don't worry about that, okay? Just keep wrapping it and wrapping it. And then I think what I'm going to do, instead of just continue to put these base beads on, which is now getting very boring, I'm sure, because you can see that point. You don't need to know anymore. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right up, again, I'm going to do the second part of it, because I can. It doesn't hurt. So I'm going to do the second part of it right here. So let's see, what can I add? Well, I want another one of these. Here. And then I'm going to add, I've got a pretty little rondelle here, so I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to put this. I like sometimes to put a bigger bead down in the bottom, you know, of the piece. Kind of just, I don't know, add something to it, I don't know. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Then I'll pull this up. So I'm going to need to catch that with something else. You'll work it out as you go along. You'll say, hey, I don't like that, or I like this, or it would be better if I did this instead. Just, you know, just work it out. A little violet bead, that might be pretty. I don't have it on string, so I'm going to have to work out finding my hole. Another one. But I think you can see how this goes. I think I did enough of it in the video last week that you can kind of get a good, you know, bead on it as well. So don't worry about all the wires showing out. You'll catch that on the next time around. You can't do this in just 2 times around. You're going to have to do it in like at least 3, maybe 4. Okay, just depends on, you know, how it goes. Size of your beads. For me, I've found it's best not to use too big of the beads. You know, don't use too many big beads. Use the smallest ones you have. Maybe I'm going to put another rondelle in here because I just think that adds a lot of pretty flash. But then I'm going to need another one of these little ones because you kind of have to cap it. Okay, like that. And just keep going. And don't forget, if they don't look exactly like they're positioned exactly the way you want to do, you can move them later, okay? You can just move. But see how that's going? And I'll just fill in. That's all you're doing. Once you get your baseline bead on, you're just filling. That's all you're doing. Just filling it. I should have put one of those flocked mats down for beads. That would have been a good idea, wouldn't it have? Yeah. Before somebody says, you should have a flock mat, I'll tell you, I know that already. I didn't do it. So, like I say, I usually am working up on my workbench in my office. I have a nice big workbench up there too. And if you've watched my live ones, you've seen them. So we usually do them up there. Okay, now, where do I want to go with this? I'll hold it back. See, what I really want to do is I want to wrap it off now. So I'll try to get it as tight as I can, then I can move it. I can get it tighter. So I'm just wrapping it again like I showed you before. I don't want to go too far with it and not too tight either. If you go too tight, it'll snap off. Okay? So, and I've got, you know, a little bit of filling on that to do too. But basically that's it, guys. All you do is just keep filling it and then tying it off. Tying it off. Okay? So, you know, just, I think you can get the idea. And so let me go back to this one that I had worked on and almost finished and kind of show you how that went. See, I have my base beads here. Do I have this on the right side? Yes, I do. I have my base beads right down here, and then I kept adding to it. I have a couple little crystals here, a pink one. Just add to it. I might add more of these, whatever. I think I need to take at least one more complete pass on this one. The only thing I need to do is be careful I don't build it up too much, because then it will look kind of clumsy, you know. But other than that, you know, and then try to stay, you know, pull your beads out first. Try to stay in the same color family. Don't get it too wild and crazy, unless that's the look you want. And in that case, whatever. But this is how it's going to end up till I get to here and just keep building, building, building. I've even worked some little bicones in there. I need to fill this spot right here. That's bothering me. But basically, that's how it goes. So hopefully, if you like this look and you want to give it a try, I think it's worth it. Even though this part of it takes some time, the rest of it goes fast. If you go back and you look at the video I did previous to this, you'll see that. I put it all together quick. Even this part, I did them right on camera and it went quick. But this part takes time. But it's just so lovely. Even Javi liked it. She saw it. She said, oh, that's so pretty. So, anyway, that's what I have to tell you about that, how to do it. And then what's nice, too, with these, I have them pushed up out of the way, but these are going to be your sides, where you run these beads. See? You run these beads on there, and then you'll just loop it, and it's a connector. You have a nice centerpiece. So anyway, give it a try. Get some cheap beads and see, you know, wire's cheap and so are little beads like this. You know, it won't cost you much. Have some fun with it. And just, if you love the look, it won't be long before you get really good and you get really fast at it. If I did this more often, I would be, okay? So anyway, I still think it's worth showing you today. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was nice to be with you. And I look forward to coming back soon with something else that'll be interesting and that you'll like to learn about and consider doing. So thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. I would appreciate that. Comment if you feel like you have something nice to say. I would love to hear it. I could use it today. And also, come see us at beadsboutiques.com. You might be surprised what you find there. You really might. We have things that nobody else has, so come and check it out. All right? So we'll see you next time. Bye!